Under the Makeup on BBC Radio Kent. It's Drive Time with Dom, just coming up to 10 to 5. Let's take a look at movies then for the weekend. Welcoming into our studio, film critic Liam Heffernan. Liam, you live in the Medway Towns. You've pretty much been there for most of your life. That's where you grew up and then went off to film school. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Tell us about what interested you at the very beginning in film. I mean, we all love watching movies, don't we? But it takes some special sort of person to then really analyse them and think about what it means for a big audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess my passion was always writing. I mean, when I was 7, 8 years old, I would write things where everyone else would be out playing. I guess that's how I ended up in film journalism. It's about as close to writing a screenplay as I can get.
Well, I guess as well, you get an opportunity to give thoughts to the movies that you watch and you love. And the whole idea of a critic is to not go with what everyone else says.
I guess so. I think there's sort of a dominant perception of critics where they have to say they hate something if everyone else loves it and vice versa. But I hope it doesn't have to be like that. And I try on my site to get people involved in it and writing about films from a very unbiased perspective. You know, if it's a great film, it doesn't matter if it was made with like $500 million.
And your site you're talking about is La La Film, and it's an opportunity for people to look at some of the movies and get some thoughts that you have about movies and other people who write for you too. Yeah,
definitely. And I hope I can nurture an environment where people just starting out writing can chat about films, discuss them, and from, I guess, a slightly different perspective than people are used to on film sites.
OK, let's start off with our first movie then for the weekend. It's called Paper Towns. It's rated 12A.
The way I figure it, everyone gets a miracle. My miracle was I wound up living across the street from Margot Roth Spiegelman. She was arguably the most gorgeous creature that God had ever created. Margot's life was a series of unbelievably epic adventures.
Are you going to spend the rest of high school pining for this girl?
As senior year drew to a close, Margot and I were practically strangers. Until this one night.
What the...
So after an all-night adventure, Quentin's lifelong crush, Margot, disappears, leaving behind clues that Quentin and his friends follow on the journey of a lifetime. What did you make of Paper Towns?
I mean, indie films have this sort of thing where they try and purport this notion of originality and eccentricity and how awesome it is. And on the most part, Paper Towns wasn't a bad film. I didn't mind it, but it seems almost ironic that for a film that's about that, it lacks originality and eccentricity. I mean, it's everything that you would expect from an indie film. It's got the teen who loves music, which is a handy excuse for a soundtrack that everyone likes. And it's got, like, the cool indie girl who, well, in this case, runs off. But Cara Delevingne is obviously the main character, Margot. And she's fine as an actress, but her character is so unlikable. It's really, really hard to engage with the film because she's so detestable.
Do you think that one of the big problems that those who are currently making indie films have is that it used to be, I mean, when we first saw the so-called independent film come out, it was new, it was fresh, it was different, and everyone was like, oh, this is great because we're seeing something that's a little bit way off. I mean, I'm thinking of things like Fargo and seeing different kinds of movies that people hadn't seen for years, or they weren't coming from the big Hollywood studio, and now they're desperate to find something different.
Yeah, definitely. And indie films have always been finding that niche that the big films haven't been doing. I mean, you could trace it back to Bonnie and Clyde. That was an independent film when it was made. And then the Coen brothers, they were sort of the pioneers of indie film in like the 90s. But we've sort of entered this phase now where indie films have become a bit of a cliche of themselves. So 500 Days of Summer came along a few years ago, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lovely film. And I like the whole twist of it's not going to be a happy ending. But now every film that follows, including Paper Towns, has sort of followed in that vein.
Yeah, they've got a bit of. I mean, for the lead actress there, you were talking about Cara. I mean, oh boy. I mean, you did not like her performance. Let's be honest.
It was fine. I mean,
fine's not good in movies, Liam.
No, I mean it was acceptable. At the end of the day, her character is not likable at all. So it kind of works that she's not particularly enjoyable as an actress.
There we go. All right, let's talk about Vacation. It's rated 15. This sounds familiar.
Sheila, do you like school this year?
It's okay.
So, do you like school this year? That's seriously what you sound like. Just shut up.
You gotta go faster, Dad. The printer doesn't go any faster.
Okay, well, maybe if I press this rapid button, it'll like give it a boost or something.
Yes.
What is happening?
Why am I swiveling?
I don't know.
This trip's been a nightmare.
Should I be seeing Chevy Chase here?
Yeah, it's a remake of the previous Vacation movie.
All those National Lampoon stuff.
Yeah, and it is very much that kind of film, and particularly more recent examples, if you like The Hangover, if you like We're the Millers, it is that kind of thing, and Ed Helms was in both of those films. So.
I quite enjoyed that movie. Is this worth watching? If I enjoyed that, will I like this?
Absolutely, yeah. I loved Vacation. I saw it at the cinema, and it was a laugh a minute. I would go back and watch it many times more.
And Christina Applegate in this.
Yeah, and it's good that two comedy stars are being given the chance to lead a film when typically they're given stronger supporting roles, and they really stepped up.
And when we're looking sometimes for movies, there is a point, isn't there, where you're either going in to see something cerebral and you really want to enjoy that moment of thinking, or you want to go in and just have a blast. And I guess that falls into that category.
Definitely, and that's what films are about, really. I mean, they're a mass medium. They're there to entertain the broad audience, and Vacation shamelessly adopts that motto and delivers something amazing. Liam
Heffernan, our film critic, is with me in the studio. Your website that you put all your blogs on, looking at the different movies, how did it come about?
Boredom, really. I was sat at home. I didn't have much else to do, so I thought I'll start a blog. And 2 years later, I've got about a dozen people contributing reviews to it, and it seems to be going in the right direction.
Is it interesting as well seeing people contribute to a website that you've started and seeing how they develop? Because ultimately you've got a team of people who are going out to watch these movies on our behalf to be able to give a genuine opinion of honesty, really, and trust, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because, just a few years ago I was a film student trying to get an opportunity, and it's fantastic that I'm able to give that to other people who are still in uni, who are looking for that break.
When you were in Norwich at film school, did you not have a member of the team who went on to win an Oscar?
Yeah, it was actually one of the guys I studied with in York. He went on to be nominated just this year for a short film he made. So Chris Hees, if you're listening, well done. And
have you looked at his own work yet, and have you commented on it?
I haven't reviewed the film on the site, but it's what he did. It was called The Bigger Picture, a short animated film, and it was really different. It was really pioneering in the stuff that they tried to do.
All right, let's take a look at the final movie then. Rated U, Strange Magic, and this stars the wonderful Alan Cummings. I'm hoping you enjoyed this.
I'm going to destroy you. No need to worry. I will protect the kingdom.
My hair's doing that thing we both love.
Whoa! Nobody ever goes into the dark forest.
I'm not afraid of them.
That's right. An army approaches. Sound the alarm.
This sounds fun. Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, Liam, it's got goblins, it's got elves, it's got fairies, it's got imps, it's got misadventure. What more could you want?
Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's, very rarely does a film come along that I hate so emphatically.
Hate?
I really, really hate it. It's just everything that it shouldn't be. It's an animated film. It's a musical. It's made by Lucasfilm, which is owned by Disney. So you'd think that they'd have someone overseeing that, just making sure that it was, Disneyfied a little bit. No, it was just diabolical. It was really badly paced. These randomly breakout musical moments just didn't fit, and they just tried to cram as many current songs as they could in there.
That's a problem now, isn't it? For a lot of productions, animations particularly, they're trying to be so contemporary that they throw in this extra stuff, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and I blame Shrek for that. Shrek was amazing, and I think other films try and follow suit far too much. But I think the film's main failing was that it's directed by a guy called Gary Rydstrom. He's a prolific sound guy in Hollywood, and he's won many, many Oscars, been nominated for many more. And this was sort of his first foray into the director's chair, and he shouldn't continue.
Stay with sound.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow,
it sounded great, though.
Oh, it sounded good. Yeah. So, out of Paper Towns 12A, thumbs up, down?
Up.
All right, Vacation, loved it.
Absolute thumbs up, yeah.
Strange Magic, forget it. Mm-hmm. Needs a more powerful bit of potion to that one.
Absolutely.
All right, lovely to have you with us. Liam Heffernan, go to his site. The website is
lalafilm.com.
Liam back with us soon here on Kent's Drive Time.